everybody, and happy Friday. Welcome to our last experience lesson of the week and last experience lesson before half term. Woohoo! So let's get started, shall we? I'm going to share my screen with you and we're going to have a look at what we're going to be learning today. So, come on, PowerPoint. We are going to be looking at the physical features of where we live. So where you live, which is in Sevenoaks. So our learning objective today is to know the physical features of Sevenoaks. So this is our remembering and understanding stage still of our geography. So today we need to be able to state the physical features of the UK. We need to be able to state the physical features of Sevenoaks. And then lastly, we're going to see if we can explain the difference in physical features of Sydney and Sevenoaks. So, can we tell what the differences are and what the similarities are between the physical geography features of Sydney in Australia and the physical geography features of Sevenoaks in the UK? So, first of all, let's recap. What does it mean by physical features? So what was physical geography? Pause the video now and see if you can say out loud what physical geography was. Right. Did you say that physical geography was parts of our world or land that would be there even if humans weren't there? So humans haven't built them. They are just naturally in our world. So things like hills and mountains, humans didn't build, they are just naturally part of our landscape. Well done if you remembered that. Secondly, what physical features did Australia have then? Pause the video and see if you can remember and say out loud what physical features Australia had. Off you go. Did you remember? So a couple I can remember were the Great Barrier Reef, where there's so much coral and amazing tropical fish. So that wasn't built by humans, so that is a physical feature of Australia. Oh, I could also think of the Blue Mountains. They're really beautiful mountains just outside of Sydney. Oh, I could think of Bondi Beach. That was another one, wasn't it? A really lovely beach that is also in Sydney. And I can think of Uluru, which was that world's greatest rock right in the middle of Australia. Wasn't built by humans, it's there naturally on its own. Well done if you got any of those, and you might have got some that I haven't mentioned. And lastly, what physical features did Sydney have itself? So Sydney, the city, what physical features did it have? Pause the video now, off you go. So, do you remember Sydney? Well, we've already mentioned Bondi Beach, a popular beach with surfers, really lovely sandy beach in Sydney. There's the Blue Mountains that we already mentioned, just outside of Sydney. There was also the Nepean River, wasn't there? That was also surrounding Sydney, and that looked beautiful. There was Prospect Hill, a really lovely, beautiful green hill with some sort of building at the top of it. So loads of physical features of Sydney. And if you remember, we made a lovely collage of all the different ones. So there's also rural meadows, lots of meadows in Sydney, and islands that surrounded them as well. So those were all our physical features of Sydney. So now we're going to think, okay, that's in Sydney. What physical features do we have in Sevenoaks and in the UK? So let's get started. I would like you to pause the video in a second and draw yourself, you're so good at this now, a bubble map, and in the middle of the bubble map, can it say physical features of the UK? So can you pause the video now and draw that for me? Off you go. Well done. Have you done it? Okay, so we're going to watch a video together. And as we watch this video, I wonder on your bubble map, can you record the physical features of the UK that we find out about? Now remember, it needs to only be physical features. So anything that's shown in this video that would have been built by a human, so therefore is a human feature, you do not need to write down. It's only the natural physical features of the UK you need to record. So let's play the video. Turn my volume up.
Geographically, the United Kingdom is largely a pastoral land. In fact, 70% of its territory consists of pastures and farm fields, and only about 1/10 of its land is forested. England accounts for just over half of the total territory of the United Kingdom. Much of rural England is sprinkled with small towns, as well as with a few grand country estates of the English aristocracy. In England's far north, an ancient wall runs 84 miles from coast to coast. It was constructed by the Roman Emperor Hadrian in order to keep Scottish tribes from invading his lands. That was 1,900 years ago, back when England was the Roman province of Britannia. In general, England's territory consists mostly of a large, rolling central lowland that transitions into a wide, flatter eastern coastal plain along the North Sea. England's main ranges of mountains, the Cumbrians and Pennines, are located in its far north. The highest peak here is 3,200 feet in elevation. Southwestern England is quite hilly and has a scenic coastline with numerous small fishing villages. Scotland makes up just under 1/3 of the total area of the United Kingdom. Scottish territory includes nearly 800 islands and 31,000 lakes. The Highlands region in the far north of Scotland contains the majority of the most mountainous land in the United Kingdom, including the nation's tallest peak, 4,400-foot Ben Nevis, seen here. Much of the hilly terrain of Scotland is covered by scrubby, treeless heathlands, or moors, such as these. Wales occupies a wide peninsula to the west of central England. Wales accounts for less than 1/10 of the total area of the UK and is its smallest region. Wales possesses a long coastline along the Irish Sea and the Bristol Channel. The Welsh countryside consists mostly of very hilly to mountainous land. 14 Welsh mountains rise up to over 3,000 feet in elevation. Northern Ireland, the UK's second smallest region, is separated from Great Britain by a narrow channel that flows into the Irish Sea. Northern Ireland consists mostly of hilly farmland, and its territory includes the nation's largest lake. The temperate marine climate of the United Kingdom derives from the warming Atlantic currents of the Gulf Stream that flow in from the west. In the UK, the temperature seldom falls below 12 degrees Fahrenheit, and it rarely rises above 95. The nation has plentiful rainfall all year round, with the heaviest rain falling in its westernmost regions. Snow falls only occasionally in the southern parts of the UK, whereas chilly Scotland can have 2 to 3 weeks of snowy weather a year.
What an amazing video, all about the different physical features of where we live. So I wonder if you wrote them all down. I would imagine you might need to watch the video again or pause it as you go through the second time. So if you need to do that, you can rewind this video or you can find the link on the class page. So let's have a look at the ones that I found. Oh, I found that there was lots of farming fields. And if you've ever been on an aeroplane and you come back into land over England, you can see that as far as you look, different fields all separated up into little squares. And it looks like a big patchwork quilt, if you know what one of those is. It's all lots of squares of farmlands. There's so much farm fields in the United Kingdom. In Scotland, they had lots of islands, didn't they? So Scotland has got one main bit at the top of the United Kingdom, and it's got hundreds of little islands all off of the top coasts of Scotland. They said there was only 10% of the UK was made up of forests, but I know we've got a couple near where we live, like Bedgebury Forest. There's mountains, so I got from that there was the Cumbrian Mountains and also Ben Nevis, which is a very famous mountain. Lots and lots of hills. When I go on my running, I know that we live in a very hilly country. There's coastline, isn't there? So we've got beaches not far from us, Camber Sands and Hastings. So there's lots of coastline, and we're an island, so we have a coastline all the way around our country. In Scotland, they have moors, don't they? Lots of grassy areas that they call moors. And finally, we have lots of natural lakes as well in the United Kingdom. So loads of physical features there of the UK. Well done if you got all of those. If you want to add any on, then you can do that now. Right. Now then, what are the physical features of Sevenoaks? For the rest of this lesson, what I would like you to do is go for a walk around near where you live. So you might live in Sevenoaks itself, you might live in Kemsing or Seal, but wherever it is you live, can you go for you're still in the Sevenoaks area. So even if you're out in the Edenbridge, it's still considered to be sort of in the Sevenoaks district. So could you go and have a walk around where you live, and can you take the sheet with you? So you can find this on the class page. In this column, I would like you to write the physical feature that you see. So my example is I came across a wooded area, so woodland. And where I found it in Knoll Park. So you might find a hill, and you could write where you found your hill. So that is your last task of this lesson. I'd like you to go out for a walk and record any of the physical features that you see and where you found them. So that is our last task for this part of the lesson. I look forward to seeing your lovely mind maps and your sheets that you've completed when you've gone out on your physical features hunt. Have a lovely lunchtime. I'll see you soon. Bye.